speed brakes, the gear, everything.
Gear, speed brake.
When you board a flight, you trust your safety to the airline, the pilots, and the crew, but sometimes even the most routine journeys turn into dangerous and unpredictable experiences. Welcome to our list of the top 10 most dangerous flights in the world. Air travel is statistically one of the safest modes of transportation. However, there are rare occasions when flights face extreme conditions or bizarre circumstances that make them unforgettable. Let's kick things off with a truly shocking incident: the snake on board. At number 10, we have snakes on board. While this case seems like something straight out of a movie, the truth is that it has happened on several occasions, causing panic and intense stress in the cabin. One of the most famous incidents occurred on a domestic Mexican flight when a very dangerous green viper, a species native to Australia, managed to sneak into the passenger cabin through the cargo compartment. The discovery triggered panic among the passengers, forcing the pilot to change course and land the plane at the nearest airport. In the end, no one was harmed, including the strange green passenger. Despite the calm ending, this incident raised serious concerns about security measures and animal handling during flights. Number 9. Fuel spill. Imagine you're sitting on a plane waiting to take off, and suddenly you notice a massive stream of liquid pouring out of the wing through your window. This happened to a newlywed couple about to depart on their honeymoon. They immediately alerted the flight attendants, who had no idea about the malfunction up until that point. If it had gone unnoticed, the consequences could have been catastrophic. Fortunately, the flight was canceled, and though the airline promised to reward the alert passengers, it was the other passengers who expressed their gratitude. Without the couple's vigilance, the outcome might have been very different. Number 8. Collision with a crocodile. Airplanes are no strangers to encountering objects in the sky, but when the collision involves something as formidable as a crocodile, the stakes are raised to a whole new level. This is precisely what happened during a routine flight preparing to land at Miami International Airport. As the aircraft descended, the unthinkable occurred. The front landing gear struck a massive 12-foot crocodile on the runway. The impact was severe, causing the tires to burst, sending shockwaves of panic through the cabin. In a moment of true professionalism, the pilot's quick thinking and expertise ensured a safe landing, narrowly avoiding what could have been a catastrophic disaster. While animal collisions on runways are rare, they are not unheard of, and this extraordinary incident serves as a stark reminder of how a seemingly harmless wildlife encounter can escalate into a perilous situation with potentially disastrous consequences. Number 7. Hailstorm planes are built to withstand all sorts of weather, but certain conditions can still pose significant risks. This was proven by a flight traveling from San Antonio, Texas to Phoenix, Arizona. Midway through the journey, the plane encountered a massive hailstorm. The hailstones were so large that they shattered the cockpit windshield, completely obstructing visibility. The storm also caused severe turbulence, leading to widespread panic and nausea among passengers. Though planes are designed for bad weather, encountering a hailstorm with such large chunks of ice can be a dangerous and terrifying experience. Number 6. Extreme turbulence. Turbulence is a common phenomenon on almost every flight and typically doesn't pose a real threat to the plane. However, in some cases it can be a different story. One of the worst instances of turbulence ever recorded happened on a flight bound for Malaysia. About an hour into the journey, one of the engines failed, forcing the plane to return to its origin. Unfortunately, during the return trip, a storm developed, and combined with the loss of one engine, it caused the plane to shake violently, almost like the motion of a washing machine. Despite this dangerous situation, the pilot managed to navigate through the storm, bringing the plane and its passengers safely back to the ground. Number 5. Epidemic of vomiting. While it's not uncommon for passengers to feel nauseous or even vomit during a flight, an outbreak of mass vomiting is a rare and truly unsettling phenomenon. On one particular flight, a sudden bout of turbulence set off a chain reaction among the passengers, as one by one they began to lose control of their stomachs. What started as a few isolated incidents soon spiraled into a full-blown crisis, with more and more passengers, and even members of the crew, succumbing to the violent effects of the shaky ride. The cabin, once filled with the usual sounds of flight, was soon engulfed in an eerie sense of chaos. While miraculously no one was seriously harmed, the cleaning crew was left with an overwhelming task that was nothing short of a nightmare. It's safe to say that for those tasked with the cleanup, a few of them may have lost their stomachs too. This bizarre event serves as a chilling reminder of just how unpredictable and strange turbulence can be and the unsettling ways it can affect the human body when it's pushed to its limits. Number 4. Loss of cabin pressure. While rare, a sudden loss of cabin pressure is one of the most terrifying scenarios passengers and crew can face at 30,000 feet. On one particular flight, a plane carrying 163 passengers experienced this nerve-wracking event shortly after takeoff. Almost immediately, passengers began reporting alarming symptoms: shortness of breath, dizziness, and a palpable sense of panic, prompting the crew to take swift action. The source of the failure was traced to a defect in the aircraft's sealing mechanism, which had compromised the cabin's ability to maintain proper pressure. Fortunately, the issue was resolved quickly, and the flight was able to avoid a more serious outcome, with no injuries reported. However, the mere thought of oxygen masks dropping and the clock ticking down to breathable air is enough to send shivers down any traveler's spine. It's a stark reminder of the razor-thin margin for error in aviation, where even a brief failure can evoke primal fears of the skies. Number 3. Missing screw. At number 3, we have the unnerving incident of the missing screw. Aircraft are marvels of engineering, meticulously crafted with thousands of components, each playing an indispensable role in ensuring the safety of every flight. So imagine the sheer shock when mid-flight, a passenger noticed a screw come loose from a critical part of the plane. The situation grew even more alarming when the screw pierced the fuselage, threatening the aircraft's integrity. Thankfully, the plane was at a lower altitude, but had this happened at cruising height, the consequences could have been catastrophic. This chilling incident serves as a stark reminder of the unforgiving precision required in aviation. Even the smallest oversight, a single, seemingly inconsequential screw, can spiral into a potential disaster, underscoring just how fragile safety can be when every detail is not accounted for. Number 2. Ejected in a second. At number 2, we have the harrowing incident titled Ejected in a Second. In 2018, a routine commercial flight in the United States took a terrifying turn when a catastrophic failure occurred mid-flight. A metal segment from the plane's turbine shattered the window with brutal force, and in a horrifying moment, a passenger was ejected through the gaping hole. The cause of the disaster was traced to accelerated metal deterioration, a rare but deadly flaw that led to the complete structural failure. Tragically, the passenger lost their life in the ordeal. This remains the most recent case of its kind, though it is not without precedent. Such incidents, though rare, serve as a chilling reminder of the risks inherent in air travel, making you think twice about where you sit, particularly near the wings, where the unimaginable could happen in an instant. Number 1. Close encounters. Close encounters between aircraft happen more often than we realize, but rarely discussed. The vast sky is usually large enough for planes to avoid one another, but the growing volume of air traffic has made such encounters more common. While these situations are usually resolved safely, there have been instances where two planes have come close enough for passengers to see each other. In these cases, a small mistake could have led to a tragic collision. Fortunately, no accidents have been reported in such circumstances, but it's a reminder of how quickly things can go wrong in the skies.